Hi, everybody. This is Georgia with Enough Faith for today. I want to talk about perspective shifts. Okay. Um, for example, uh, it's the way we react to people and the way we generally view things, the point of view that we view things, your perspective. Okay. A couple of examples of what I'm trying to get across. Okay, when somebody criticizes, say at the workplace or at school or something like that, and they tell you that you're doing something wrong or that you didn't do it good enough, okay, you can see it as criticism or you can see it as critique, okay? When it comes across as criticism, you get defensive, okay? You automatically want to defend yourself for why the way you did it or whatever was right, and you start explaining to them why you're right, okay? And it equals a negative effect, okay? There's no communication. Communication starts to break down at that point. Nothing really gets resolved. You know, the other person is pissed off because you're taking offense to what they're trying to tell you, and you're just pissed off because you took offense, and so it's just a negative result. But when you can take the criticism and see it as critique, especially if this is coming from somebody who has been in this situation or is just wiser in the knowledge they have on the situation, take it as critique. Because a lot of times when people tell you things, it's not to hurt your feelings or piss you off. It is literally to help you do better. Okay? So keep that in mind when somebody gives you a critique or tells you something, they may actually want to help you get better at it. Okay? And when you leave your mind open to the critique to learn from it, then you have a positive growth from it. Okay? Then you might say to them, "Oh, I was unaware of that. Where exactly did I go wrong? In what way could I improve on it?" Okay, and that creates like a positive growth. This goes along with open and closed mindsets. My boy used to tell me about this when he was younger because he read a book about open and closed growth mindsets. Okay, so that's one example where you can change your perspective and it improves your life. Okay, let's talk about anger. Okay, I hit three like hard points that a lot of people kind of deal with, more common. Anger, uncontrolled emotion. Anger is almost always a response to a situation. Okay, anytime you respond to a situation, you're handing over your control and your power in that instance. Just so you know. Just so you know. You're handing over your power. You're saying, whatever's going on around me is more than I can handle, so I'm just going to emotionally have an outburst. Okay, so uncontrolled emotion. It's usually triggered by hurt or exhaustion. Okay, those are the most two common things to trigger anger. Somebody hurts your feelings, okay, and you get defensive. You know, you hurt me, I'm going to hurt you. And exhaustion. When you're just wore out, man, you tolerate less. It's just cause and effect. Okay, so when you get triggered with anger and you explode, okay, you cause damage. A lot of times you'll say things that you wish you could take back, okay? Or maybe you'll do things that you wish you could take back. You ever get angry and punch a hole in your wall? Well, guess what? You got to fix that hole now. That's what I'm talking about, okay? Now, change your perspective, change your approach. Anger. You get angry and pissed off. Typically, you can feel it coming on, okay? So you have to take notice to how you're feeling, Okay, so you can feel the anger coming on. Sometimes people just trigger you out of nowhere. It happens. But either way, when the anger comes, stop, pause, stop, pause. Find space. Go for a walk. Leave your phone behind and take a drive. Whatever you got to do. But find space and process. Okay? Process your thoughts and your emotions. Okay? Thoughts and emotions go together. Okay? Okay, and so when you take that time, you stop, you pause, you walk away, you do what you got to do to get yourself back grounded, calm down, then you can come at it fresh. Sometimes you might need a couple days. It depends on the level of pissed off you just got, right? You might need to walk away from something for a week and be like, just not doing this. Not at this moment. Okay, and so when you do that and you process and you come back at it more level-headed, more gathered together and grounded, then you can have a positive growth. Okay, so depression. This is one I want to hit just because it's something that I really struggled with. Depression. Okay. Okay. When you get depressed and you start feeling like you're not good enough, all that stuff that goes along with it, I don't matter, nothing I do is ever going to matter, you start getting closed off. You start shutting down. You start withdrawing, okay? And it's not like you are choosing to do these things when you're really struggling with depression. It's like you could literally go and do something that makes you happy, like maybe it's spending time with your grandkids, for an example. But you can literally be spending time with your grandkids with the mental mindset of, I'm going to do this because it's supposed to make me feel better. But when you get in such a deep depression, you can literally be sitting in a situation that you should be joyful in and feel nothing. It's a horrible feeling. Depression is real. It's a horrible feeling. Like, you can be sitting there in a moment where you should be filled with joy, but something just doesn't allow your emotions to process. And that typically, there are warning signs before you get to that level of depression. Okay, there are warning signs. Being tired and exhausted all the time. Not being able to get out of bed. Constantly running in zombie mode. Like, you're running in zombie mode. Like, you know it. You're like, I'm just doing what I got to do to get through the day. That's what you're telling yourself. And you can feel your mind just mentally slipping away. Like, you're just walking around in zombie mode. Like, autopilot, go to work, go home, cook dinner, wash clothes, do this, do that, autopilot, and not actually feeling anything along the way. It's a shitty feeling, I'm telling you. So, deeper depression. All of those things lead to deeper depression. When you close yourself off, when you start to shut down, okay? It's kind of like your body goes into this overdrive survival mode where you have just taken on so much bullshit throughout the course of your life. Your brain is like, okay, we got to keep this person surviving, but this person cannot actually handle the weight of the emotions that they are actually carrying inside, stuck in there, which most of it comes from unforgiveness. Holding on to those grudges, stick them in, stuff it down. This person hurt me, stuff it down. This situation happened, stuff it down. This person I love died, stuff it down. You got to process your emotions, okay? You really do. And the best way to change perspective, okay, let me finish this off first. Okay, so the thing you should do if you don't want to go deeper into depression is get help. Get help. That is hard. That is the first step. Okay? You can talk to a therapist. You can Google stuff on YouTube. Like, that's been my most helpful thing on my journey, is reading my Bible, getting in the Word, and looking stuff up on YouTube. There's a lot of therapists that put a lot of free information out there. Find the one that works for you. Okay? Childhood trauma, past traumas, all that stuff. Like, there are people that are more prone to depression. That's just the truth of the matter. Okay, so the first thing you got to do is get help. Okay? A step in the right direction. Okay? And so, all of these things that I just explained, they all point back to the thing is you got to process what you are feeling and what you are thinking. Okay? Especially in the anger one. Like, what were you feeling and what were you thinking right before you got triggered? Because to really have good balance in your life, to go through life peacefully, calmly, to make it so that things don't bother you. Okay? Situations, problems come up, disagreements, situations where you're stuck hanging around people that you don't typically want to be hanging around, or something like that. The more balanced your emotions and your thoughts are, the better you're going to be able to handle difficult, uncomfortable situations. Okay? I don't know how else to say it. I'm not a therapist. I'm just some lady that went through a bunch of bullshit and is happy as hell right now, despite my circumstances. Okay? And I want other people to be able to feel this type of peace, joy, and calm. And so I just tell everybody, this is what I did, and I hope it helps you. But balancing your emotions with your thoughts. Okay? What was I thinking when I felt that? That's like one of the best questions you can do to start getting those in balance. What was I thinking when I felt that? Okay? And ask God to show you. Like, let me gain wisdom from this, God. I'm trying to learn so that I can make better choices in the future. So life can get better. Life can get better. Yeah. Does that mean everything's going to get easy now? I figured this all out. I got my emotions and my thinking balanced. Things will get better in a way because you have a better capability of tolerating uncomfortable situations, working through them, and working them into a positive future. But it's only that your problems get better. Okay, you don't just quit having problems. That's not how life works. We all got issues. We all got stuff we got to work on and work through, and obstacles that come along the way. But your problems get better. Okay, for example, I wrote down here, okay, I've grown. What now? Does everything get easy? Sorry, but no. But you get better problems. Kind of like maybe your finances are in a mess and crap, and you decide, okay, I'm really going to get disciplined on getting my money together. Okay? And so you do. You get out of debt. You get on track. You get a savings. But now your problem is, I have to find the right person that's going to invest the money the way I want to invest it. Okay? That's your better problem. You have the money now, but you still need to make choices. Okay? What's another problem? I'll never have a home. I just rent these crappy apartments that cost way too much, and you get So you improve on your situation, you get yourself a house. Okay, you buy a house. Wow, I have my own house now. But you have a better problem. You have to maintain that house. You have to make sure you have the money for the taxes. You have to make sure the roof is in good shape. You have to mow the lawn. You are responsible for everything that needs fixing and upkeeping. Okay? It's just a better problem. Let me see if I can think of one more. I want to think something with the kids. Ooh. No. Better problems. Better problems. Okay, so maybe I figured it out. It clicked. Maybe you want to be able to have children and you can't. But then something happens and you get children. Okay. Now you have a better problem. You have the responsibility of raising those children in a way that is not only going to give them a life of fulfillment, but you have the opportunity to teach them how to put out into the world goodness. Okay? You have a big responsibility now. And that's a problem. Like, that's something you have to handle. So, I think that's about all I got for today. A little different than I usually do, but that's okay. It's just something I wanted. The main point I want to get across in this video is that what you're thinking and your emotions are attached. Okay? When you got what you're thinking way over here on the right and your emotions are way over here on the left and they're just so out of balance, that's going to affect you internally. Okay? So get them balanced. Reel them back in. Take some time to think about it. You know, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? Why did I think that? I don't know. I hope it helps somebody. It's hard to explain, but it works. Ask God to help you. He'll get your back. Bye.